Last year might have been a little disappointing for our San Jose State squad, who said goodbye to their star quarterback, but this year things get a little bit more exciting. It felt like maybe last year was a transitional year, a bit of a buffer year, but now we're back on track because we have ourselves a new quarterback to invest in Keenan Ham, who is a 4-star elite development gem, dual threat extraordinaire at the QB position that has caused us to really adjust our offensive philosophy. We're going to be kind of implementing a lot of new stuff into the offense, a lot more shotgun, a lot more pistol, where we're going to get to see him on the move a little bit more, because how are we not going to use his 92 speed and his athleticism to our advantage? And on top of that, the team is just pretty nice. Juan Caruthers last year had a breakout season, 1,000 yards on the ground, and I think with him and Keenan Ham, they could be a great duo. We have some great pieces on the offensive line. The defense is looking pretty solid. I mean, well-rounded. Cornerback could be better, but we do have, again, some really nice pieces at every level of this team. I don't think this team has a lot of glaring weaknesses. Another thing I would want to show you here is Damian Wooden will be playing nickel. So one of our top recruits last year will be playing, as a true freshman as the nickel corner for this team. The schedule, really interesting how this all unfolded. Usually you play 8 conference games. How things broke for us this year, 7 conference games. So we do get a bonus non-conference game. Interesting how that all works out and how that broke for us. So we're going to hope we can capitalize on that. And, I didn't schedule a overly easy non-conference schedule. So we're going to see if we can, take the fight to one of the teams that we previously have met in this series. Our first playoff appearance was a thrilling game against Penn State. We're going to be taking another trip over there to see with the new quarterback if we can get a little revenge for our playoff defeat a little while back. But I'm excited for this season. Last year with Trent Toppins, it was a little bit of a struggle because you knew that you weren't going to be able to get the production that Scatia gave us, but he was frustrating to watch at times, and I don't know how popular he was amongst you guys, but if we didn't have a quarterback like Keenan Ham to really invest in, then he probably we'd have to roll into another year with Trent Toppins. The fact that Keenan Ham is an elite development and is also like pretty high floor to be able to play day one is really incredible. For recruiting this year also, every year we've kind of moderately took a step up in what we were able to do. This year, it's basically just kind of we can go for whoever is interested in us. Whoever has us on the board, any pipeline, any level of interest. Before I did just California. Before that I did if they were like top 5 interested in California. So we've kind of slowly, little by little, loosened the restrictions. Now we are at the point where it's just any 4-star or less that is interested in us, we are allowed to go for. So it puts even more 4-stars on the board, especially since we are up in the prestige a little bit more. I think we're like 3.5 stars. Like, we're pretty decent right now, and we're gonna be at a point in which a lot of 4-stars are gonna be interested in us. And we are starting the season this year top 25. Last year, you remember how that went down. We were number 10 in the nation and did not make the playoffs despite being number 10. Though at the same time, I don't think we deserved to be number 10 in the nation at a 9-3 record, and I think we ended up with 9-4 because of a conference championship loss. But I don't think we deserved to go to the playoffs last year. Still was disappointing. But this year, I do think we're good enough if Keenan Ham shows that he is at least better than Toppins day one. I mean, I don't need him to be a superstar off the bat, but I need him to be viable. And I think the rest of the roster kind of speaks for itself, and Juan Caruthers can be that guy for us on being our offensive engine. But I'm excited for what this team could do this year. New offensive philosophy, some new players, and most importantly, a new quarterback. I am aiming and I am shooting for double-digit wins this season and hoping that we can send this team back to the playoffs. So I think we've gotten everything we need to do down. Just finish up the recruiting for the early part of the season, and we will be ready to head into our first game of the season, where we are going to get to see what Keenan Ham has to offer for us. We jump to the fourth quarter in a game against Troy. It is 21-14, and we have Caruthers for a 7-yard gain as there goes Keenan Ham to throw. Now he's got to tuck and run it, and Ham slides for the first down. He's got 11 carries on the day and make it 12 with the read option as Ham is going to get him 8 yards as that's a direct snap. Here's Caruthers weaving his way through and breaking a tackle for the first down as this running game could be what catapults us into a playoff appearance because it's looking really good on this drive as they go back to Caruthers, who gets a lane and he's gonna be free. 39-yard touchdown, and he's following up that breakout season with another great game to start his junior season as Troy down by 14 with 5 to play as it's play action. Free rusher gets in and he gets the pass off 3rd down and 7 as they throw, and he'll go over the middle to an open man for the first down to the 38-yard line. 4.5 to go. They're hurrying up. They need to go quickly. Down by 2 scores as they get 5 yards there. 3rd down and 5 as he will roll and pressure gets in. That's a sack, our second of the day. 4th and 17. He's gonna throw down the field. It's knocked away, and San Jose State takes over in great field position. 2nd down and 4. Great time in the pocket. Ham throwing on the run. There's Caruthers, great pass catcher as well, and this is exactly what we wanted to see, and we haven't even needed to see any receivers do anything. That ball's going to be incomplete. That was Conrad Wooten who was the intended receiver. Field goal is no good, so that was our chance to, I guess, completely lock up the game for good to make it a 3-score lead, and it's not going to go our way. So now Troy gets great field position, but it's just a minute and a half to go. Down by 14, and that ball's going to be caught inside the red zone, and a great play from Troy as they're at the 11. End zone touchdown. 1-score game, but they need the onside kick, and it is going to be on the ground still, and it's scooped up by Troy. And Troy, are they going to pull this one off? The first game of the season, and we're already in some like heartbreaking territory right now if we allow them to make this comeback as they're at the 43-yard line with 40 seconds to play. Throwing outside, open man to the 24, and overtime could be in their sights as they'll throw, and he's going to tuck and run, get little yardage, use their last timeout. 21 yards to go after the 3-yard gain. 2nd and 7, throw for the end zone, back corner, it's incomplete. 3rd down and 7, 25 seconds to play. He's rolling, he's getting sacked, and they're gonna have to hurry things up with 15 seconds to go. 4th down and long. That ball is incomplete, and San Jose State in a little bit of a scare survives, but you gotta get that onside kick under wraps. I don't know what you're doing there, guys, as Ham has a pretty solid debut. 12 of 19, didn't have to throw much, but he got 2 touchdowns through the air. Also had 54 on the ground with a touchdown. Caruthers 80 yards and a touchdown. So also Caruthers, it says he put the ball on the ground twice, so 2 fumbles for our running back in his season debut. So a little rough there, you know, some things we probably got to clean up. We essentially put the ball on the ground 3 times with the 2 fumbles from Caruthers and the onside kick. So that's kind of how you give a team like Troy an opportunity to pull something like that off as a week 1 upset. But 1-score win, we're okay. And for a debut, pretty solid from Keenan Ham. Like I said, things could be a little bit better. Conrad Wooten especially, who's getting, you know, a nod here at the number 3 receiver spot. He was, I believe, the player who also kind of fumbled away that onside kick, and he was also the player that on 3rd down, the ball just kind of hit him and he didn't bring it in. So new players getting an opportunity. You're going to have some growing pains, especially at the wide receiver spot where we just don't have that star player that we would like to have. I mean, we have lost a couple of receivers in the past few years, and last year with Ricardo Southward, he was a back-to-back 1,000-yard player for us, and he's gone. Bradley Joy is our number 1, but not exactly a traditional number 1, not the type of number 1 that we would typically like to have. We would much prefer him as a number 2, but other than Bradley Joy, it's a lot of unproven talent. Oscar Ahmed, Conrad Wooten, bunch of other underclassmen who haven't really played yet. So let's hope the passing game doesn't come back to hurt us as we have our big week 2 matchup. How about Penn State on the road, and this is a matchup worth watching the full second half of, as he's getting sacked there and ran all the way backwards to give us good field position after the punt, but Ham gets brought down. It's 14-13 in the start of the second half, as it's number 13 San Jose State versus number 3 Penn State. We have to pump the football away, so 2 defensive stops to start the second half, as now we get a 2-yard loss there and a screen on third down, and they are going to get the first down. Great blocks down the field set up, and Penn State in business now with that first down as their read option to the edge. He's gonna get him 9-10, but they won't call it a first down, and they will get it on the very next play, pounding it through the middle with the run game, as they will go read option again, and another lane opens up for the quarterback to run it. He's got a first, and they're at the 31-yard line, threatening to take the lead here as they're in field goal range, as they'll throw outside, caught for the first down. Defense has played pretty solid. That's only 150 passing yards, but maybe it's because they're running it so well. Touchdown, and the 2-point conversion is good. 7-point lead for Penn State, as now our offense hasn't really played much in this third quarter. Already 8 minutes gone, and they've only had like 3 plays. Third down and inches. Caruthers has the first down gain there to the 39-yard line. 1st and 10. Quick screen outside is going to be caught. That's Cyril Bland, who is going to get 9. He's a really talented player. Just can't really get in the field much because he's not as good as Caruthers, who gets the first down there. We start the fourth quarter off with a midfield play over the middle. That's going to be caught for a 9-yard gain. 3rd down and 1. Handed it off to Caruthers, who is going to get it. First down, close, but they gave it to him. Hand it back off, as that's going to be a loss of 1. Now 3rd down and 8, as Ham is going to tuck. He's going to run it. He's going to be met at the line. He's got the first down to close again, but they gave it to him again. Ham floats one, caught, and that's going to be fighting down to the 1-yard line. 1 yard to go. Cyril Bland for the touchdown, and what a drive from San Jose State to eat up that much time and little by little just work their way down the field. It's 21-21 with 6 to go, and Penn State, that's a costly flag there. False start is going to set them back 5, and it'll be 3rd down and 6 as they'll throw outside. There's another flag down, and this one looks to be on San Jose State, so they'll get it back in. More roughing the passer. That would have gotten us off the field if they didn't commit that penalty, and now Penn State gets a second life. As with 5 to go, they have the football at the 48-yard line. Quick pass to the outside on the screen, and it's going to be a first down, as now 2nd down and 8. They'll sweep it. He's going to cut it back inside and get a nice gain of 7. 3rd down and 1 from the 36, as they'll throw underneath. That's broken up, and a great play by the defense to force the field goal here, as the kick is through the uprights and good. Still disappointed that we couldn't get off the field with that roughing the passer call that really costed us, as that's going to be a broken tackle, and you turned a loss into a 4-yard gain, and that's what Caruthers is able to do for this offense, as Ham is going to throw on the run, and that's a dart in like triple coverage. And now 4th down and 6. You got to go for it here, and they convert, as that is going to be a huge clutch play for Ham at the 2-minute warning, and he's going to run. Can't get away. He's fast, but not fast enough. 2nd and 20, as he'll throw for a gain to get basically just the sack yardage back, but now 3rd down and 10 with 1:20 to play. He's going to run for it. He's going to get the first down and more, sliding down at the 48, timeout used. 1:14 to play, as it'll be a throw to Bradley Joy for 10. 2nd and inches, 60 seconds to go, as he will go into a sack. He stepped up and ran into pressure. 3rd down and 4, and now throwing underneath, double coverage. It's broken up. 4th down and 4, game on the line. Hand throwing up the sidelines, intercepted. He forced it on 4th down, and that's gonna be a wave goodbye to San Jose State, who had their chance in this one, and once again against Penn State they lose just barely. So Ham, I mean, you threw him into the fire in his 2nd game, and he had his moments, but ultimately 2 interceptions is not going to get the job done there, as he also did run for 70 yards, and pretty impressive game overall aside from those picks. But I mean, we knew this was going to be a difficult one, not just because it was against the number 3 team in the nation, but because also you're throwing your true freshman quarterback on the road at Penn State in his 2nd career game. We wanted to throw him in there, though, and see if we could work a little magic and see if how special he might be. Now, he didn't get the job done, but I think he at least proved he can hang. We didn't get embarrassed. He didn't, he didn't stink it up, which is at least a good sign for us, as we wanted to test ourselves against the top team in the nation, see kind of where we lie, and if we can go out there and compete against a team like Penn State, then I do think this team is good enough to make it to the playoffs, and we'll see if Ham can keep on building on this. So with that loss, it does knock us down to number 17 in the country, and we will be taking on Boston College up next. But you see some teams in our conference there, as Colorado State kind of perennially been right there with us the entire time. But let's go to Boston College, where things are looking really good for us. How about 26-0 to kick off the fourth quarter, as this defense has been really good. And I mean, so far, it's been interesting considering you allow 400 yards to Troy, but then against Penn State, they only allowed 200 yards. And now against Boston College, they're pitching a shutout. And right now, we're kind of doing that thing where this team does like to take their foot off the gas pedal at the end of games when they are up. And, I'm not asking them to play 110%, 100% of the time, because if we're up 26-0, I'm not going to be sweating if they score a touchdown here. But this team does not always go for the shutout, as they will not get the shutout here, touchdown Boston College. But the thing about that is it took them about 4.5 minutes to do. Onside kick! Okay, guys, come on. What are we doing? This is not, we cannot have this issue. That's going to be an interception at least. But guys, how already 2 onside kicks? We've let them go, as that's going to be a fumble back the other way, and Boston College picks up the football. So even though this is essentially a game over situation, you can definitely see we have some stuff to figure out. We're putting the ball on the ground too much, and already this season, 2 onside kicks we've allowed our opponents to recover. Boston College delivers a touchdown there, and it's 14-26, as we will get the football back with a chance to, stop this little rally, as with under 4 to go. Caruthers with the first down run. How about 2 in a row? And he'll get it to midfield. We're running the clock down. 2-minute warning. 3rd down and 10. Ham with a clean pocket. He's going to look. He's going to throw it. And it's incomplete. So it'll be Boston College football, but we'll jump ahead to a 3rd down and 6 situation where they have the football close to midfield. They're throwing it deep. 1-on-1. That's knocked away. 4th down and 6. And looking for, I guess, a miracle comeback here, as that ball's going to be caught. Game's still going. It'd be pretty crazy if they made this comeback, but I trust the defense to at least shut the door on this one, as they'll throw outside. That's going to be caught to the 10-yard line. 3rd down and 10 from the 10. That's caught short of the marker. 4th down and 4, as there's 40 seconds to play, and it'll be a sack. So a lot of yards racked up by Boston College, as, they had in the double digits going into the fourth quarter, and they leave with about 200 yards on the day, but still a good performance by this defense to get us in that situation in the first place. Ham, a very clean game, 19 of 25, also a rushing touchdown, and you can see Ham and Caruthers putting together a really fun rushing duo, as Conrad Wooten as well. How about 137 yards and a touchdown, a long of 92, so a big play from Wooten, has his kind of little breakout game there, as Rico Childers also was the one who brought in that interception. So 26-14, pretty nice. We had them, shut out going into the fourth quarter. The defense is looking really interesting, considering now back-to-back games we've held our opponents under 250 yards and not a lot of points on the board. I hope that we can carry that on, especially when we head into conference play. But if the defense is going to be looking like that, and Keenan Ham, I mean, he's played pretty efficiently so far. Like, the thing is, with Trent Toppins, he was so sporadic. And one, Toppins was awful when it came to playing against the big opponents. When we'd play a big team, he would stink it up and complete like 30% of his passes or 40% of his passes. But, right now, Ham is playing like pretty efficient football. I mean, we'll see what he does when we get to play some other big opponents, but I like that, we can come out here, and so far he's completed, a high percentage of his passes. 65 to 70% is kind of what you're hoping for a freshman quarterback who has this much hype around him. And Trent Toppins, meanwhile, I mean, that dude was struggling to complete 60% of them. So we go into the fourth quarter of our next game, and this one probably our easiest game of the season, it looks like, as that's going to be a blocked punt and Southern miss. This is weird. Special teams might be an issue for this team. Now that's 2 onside kicks that we have allowed to be recovered and now a blocked punt. I mean, it's not going to really impact the score of this game. It's 49-14, but I think we need to figure out a special teams coordinator or something for this team, as that's going to be a throw incomplete for Ham. They go 3 and out, so we're going to let Southern Miss get the football back. As curious that we haven't put the backups in, but I'm fine with it. Let Keenan Ham get all the reps that he needs. You know, I'm fine. I'm a proponent with, you know, getting a quarterback like him, a true freshman, all the reps that he can handle and seeing what he can do with the football in his hands in high pressure and low pressure situations. As a screen on 2nd and 13 to Caruthers is going to get them to 3rd down and 1. It's been a nice day for Ham as he will hand it off to Caruthers for the 1st down as this clock is ticking down. 3.5 to go. Hand off Caruthers again, and that's another 7-yard gain. Clock is going under 3 minutes, and how about another 1st down? So this team is going to basically be able to, you know, wipe the rest of this clock away and ride our little running back all the way to victory here as 4th down and 2 hits. And how about one more field goal for good measure to give us the 50 points on the board, and that will be game 52-21 is your score, and we put up 500 yards of offense and just light up the scoreboard. And how about Ham? 70% completion percentage, 2 touchdowns through the air, 300 yards. And how about on the ground as well, where he put up 2 touchdowns there. Caruthers with 129. We are 3-1, which usually would mean we are on to conference play. But like I said at the start, we do get 1 extra non-conference game to play. So we'll try to make the most of that one. See if we can go 4-1 in non-conference play. But you could kind of see what the recruiting is looking like for us. There are 4 stars where it's looking like we're going to get potentially a couple of these guys. And you know, the goal every year has been to do a little bit better. And this year I'm thinking if we can get 5, 6, maybe even 7 4-star players, I'd be pretty happy with that. And I think we are in at least good position to kind of get close to our goal. There's some guys that very much are interested in us, but still we're at the point where, you know, if Oregon wants to swoop in and decide they want the player, or USC wants to swoop in, they'll probably get them. But you know, our board has been very much focused on these guys, especially at wide receiver. We are trying so hard to find a wide receiver. That's kind of the mission right now, is to just get ourselves a number 1. We just have not had, you know, a truly like dominant game-changing receiver. We've had good receivers. We've had good number 2s. We've had okay number 1s, but we haven't had like a true game-changing guy yet. And we're still trying to find it, so we'll see if we can. But we are on to our next game against BYU, where we are number 15 in the nation, and BYU is down 17-24, but with the football in their possession, and they're getting sacked. That's a loss of 11. That's our first sack of the day, but what a time forward, as the screen is going to get them to 3rd and 19, all the way to 4th down and 6, where they'll punt the football. We throw on the outside, quick pass to Caruthers, who's going to lose 2 yards and set up 3rd down and long, as Ham has time, but he will try to run it. I don't think he's got the angle there, and no, he does not. We'll punt the football back as BYU takes over in great field position, and they'll get the check down for a short gain of 3 to set up 3rd down and 7. They'll throw middle, and the shot in double coverage is incomplete, as we will take the football over, threatening to go 3 and out, as we will. So offense has been struggling on both sides so far in this game, and that should have been a pick 6, as San Jose State could have locked up this game with that one, but instead it's going to be a conversion and a lot more on the run. 55-yard touchdown for BYU, and how quickly things turn, as now a 5-yard loss on the catch. I don't know why we're throwing these type of checkdowns. Now 3rd down and 14, throwing the ball deep middle, has got it, and that's Dakota Stevens, a tight end. How do you let him get free? Touchdown San Jose, as now BYU takes over, and things have all of a sudden, they picked up, and we got some offense going, as it's 24-31. And 2nd and 8 with 2:40 to play. They'll throw a curve curl for a wide open man to the 48-yard line. 14-yard gain, 2.5 to go. Play action as he's got time. Just a 3-man rush, and he will tuck and run it. He's got the first down, and he's got a gain of 12. And that is special play recognition there. He knew that play before anybody else did, as BYU has to get some of those yards back. They do, and they get it all back, but now it's still 3rd down and 7, and that ball's going to be knocked away. You got to go for it on 4th down, though. 150 to go, and that's intercepted! And BYU is going to have to play some defense right now as we're trying to wave goodbye to our non-conference schedule with the 4-1 record, but 3rd down and 3 is going to be what we need, and we're not going to convert. So BYU will get 50 seconds to go as they'll throw middle, caught, and that's a great start. That is already the 42-yard line as they will throw again. Probably going to be throws all the way. The rest of the way is it's incomplete. He almost got sacked. 3rd down and 10. As they will go underneath. That's not going to help them very much. Time is going to keep on running, and it's 4th down and 5. 25 seconds to go. Game on the line. He'll throw, and it's caught. He runs over a man, and he gets to the 16. 17 seconds to play. Clock still running as he'll go to the end zone. Knocked away. 12 seconds to go. Looks like he got 2 shots left as he'll throw back in the end zone. It's all the way out the back, throwing it away. 4th down and 10. Last shot. It's going to be short, and it's going to be time running out. He's going to have the first down. Clock is stopped, but it's only for a moment. Time is ticking, and it's all over. It's going to be game over. San Jose State survives. They got the first down, but the clock only stopped for a handful of seconds. Not enough for them to get another playoff. And Keenan Ham plays a really nice game. How about another efficient one? I mean, I've loved what I've seen from Keenan Ham with his overall body of work that he puts together from game to game. It's been efficient, some picks here and there, but pretty clean in a lot of instances. And, touchdown interception ratio is looking good. He runs the football very well, and I really like what I'm seeing from this team. I would like some of these games, like against BYU and against Troy, to not be as close. I mean, all of our games feels like has been really close, aside from like that Southern Miss game, but BYU, Penn State, Boston College even got a little too close for comfort when we were up 26-0, and they were 1 play away from cutting it down to a 1-score game at one point. So I would like to see against some of these lesser opponents us to shut the door a little bit. I don't need 52-21 like against Southern Miss, but I would like, maybe a little bit of a cushion, 2-3 score win. I'd like that, especially now we are in conference play. We cannot afford slip-ups. This is a pretty tough conference that we got ourselves in with teams like Boise State, who last year made the playoffs with a Heisman winner. Colorado State is always really good. And we got other teams like Washington, UCLA, Cal, Arizona. We have our first set of commits, but Tashawn Hatchett, a defensive tackle, and Eric Maribel, a middle linebacker. So 2 nice commits there. And how about one more? Dominique Tolson. So 3 4-star players. We did lose out, though, on Ramon Palacio, a wide receiver who I was really interested in. Unfortunate, but we do get 3 4-stars on the board, and we jump up to the number 13 rank in the country. Right ahead of us is Colorado State, and we will now take on one of our rivals here. Another nice team, 3-1 Stanford. It's 33-29, and we are down going into the 4th quarter against the talented Stanford team in our conference opener, as Ham runs it for 6 yards to set up 3rd down and 8. He'll tuck, he'll throw it on the run. It looked like he was going to take off, but he delivers one to Bradley Joy, and that's a great play on the run. We don't have quarterback. Even like Brett Scacia wasn't making plays like that on the run. He just provides us a new dimension of offense to unlock a bit of, out of structure playmaking ability, as we will not get the first down there. But it's 4th down and 6, and we're going for it, and we're getting sacked. I understand the call, but you maybe could have kicked the field goal on 4th and 6 to make it a 1-point game. That was an either way call. I don't hate going for it there, but unfortunate that doesn't work out. Defense now is going to force a 3 and out, so we do catch a break there. We get the football back in under a minute and in great field position. Look at Conrad Wooten making a man miss, and the big receiver, Conrad Wooten, touchdown! He's big, but he has got some speed on him, and he has had some great performances so far, and Stanford has got it all the way back, 83 yards, right back at us, and now we find ourselves down by 4 again. And the defense that has had some really nice performances, not so much today. 40 points on the board for Stanford, and almost throwing a pick there, as we'll have to punt the football back anyway. A conference opener loss would really throw a wrench in our plans, but on 3rd down and 1 with the chance to get the football back, we get the stop, as we will have 3 minutes to play. We ought to go 70 yards as Ham will throw outside to an open Bradley Joy for a gain of 11. Nice start to the drive there, as he will throw middle. There's Wooten, who's had the big touchdown and a couple of nice plays so far this season, as they'll throw one up top. Open man has got it. Touchdown. It's Oscar Ahmed with it, and now we got the lead 43-40 as Stanford, with 2 minutes to play, we've turned this thing into a shootout. 3rd down and 6, as it's gonna be an interception. Taking it the other way, and they're gonna go all the way for the touchdown. Evan Sherry puts an end to it, as with just a minute to go, we need to hold on and not let anything crazy to happen here, as that's not going to be what we want to see. Stanford not going down without a fight. Touchdown, but they use the timeout along the way. Onside kick, we've had our struggles, and it's not going to be a struggle this time. Conrad Wooten picks it up, and we just need to get 1 first down to end it. Speed option, risky call, but that's gonna do it. Caruthers for the first down. Bold to go with a speed option in a game-sealing situation like that. You could have easily put that ball on the ground, especially with some of the fumble troubles that we have had. But how about 1,000 combined yards for these two teams and 97 points, where Keenan Ham, I mean, yeah, we might have something really special. I mean, how about 380 yards? Caruthers with 144 in the ground, but every game that we are going through, I'm seeing like 70% completion percentage. I'm seeing 3-4 touchdowns. Conrad Wooten, speaking of 3 touchdowns, a hat trick of touchdowns for him. Our top 3 receivers, all 7 catches, 90+ yards, and accumulating 4 touchdowns between them. So I kind of knocked this receiving crew a little bit for their lack of star power, or lack of having a true number 1. But I mean, if you have a bunch of nice number 2s and 3s, I guess you can get the job done here. As Conrad Wooten, I mean, I was kind of knocking him early on. First game of the season was a little rough, but he's now had that 3 touchdown game. He had that 130-yard game. He's had a couple of nice plays. Maybe Conrad Wooten has a future on this team as a starter going forward. He is still just a sophomore. I think he's got something, though. I think we might have... He's something that we don't usually have on this team. Usually our receivers are pretty fast or pretty shifty. He is bigger, but he's also got some speed to him. So a little bit of a different profile that we usually have at wide receiver for this team, but he might be able to be the key piece, the dark horse of the team, the difference maker, as we have a lot of new players on the board here. You know, we're at that point where a lot of those 4 stars are kind of making their decisions. Even if they haven't out and out committed anywhere, we kind of have an idea if they're going to be here or not to be here. So we're going to take some of our extra points, kind of get some of these other 3 stars on the board to try to see if we can especially find some pass catchers, because even though Conrad Wooten is showing that he could be something for us, we still need other receivers. How about another 4-star, Britton Kenyon, Damian Gibbons? So the defensive line is definitely getting bulked up, but yeah, receiver Don Godwin, he's going to be going to Kentucky. So all the receivers we're missing out on, and we move up to number 11 in the nation. We have to take on Arizona State up next. Colorado State right up there with us still. So you can also see Boise State down there at 18. 3 teams entering conference in the top 25, and a couple of other teams performing very well. So 6 games into the season, I want to show you the stats, but look at Keenan Ham, man. That is awesome. And he's also got 300 yards on the ground. 72 completion percentage in your first 6 career games is really good. And Conrad Wooten, how about 450 yards and 5 touchdowns, leading out everything for our receivers? This is really this is maybe best case scenario. This is what we were hoping for from, you know, Keenan Ham, and we're hoping a player can break out. As now, you know, we go into our 7th game of the season, and it is looking like it could very well be a win for us. I mean, unless we're going to blow a 28-point lead. I know this team likes to let teams kind of crawl their way back in and make the score at the end not look so bad, but 31-3 is your score with 6 minutes to play, as Arizona State has the football in great field position and a touchdown there. So they do get on the board 31-10. but still down by 21. We will go 3 and out, get the football back to Arizona State, and they will throw one up top. It's going to be caught off the tip, and that's another touchdown. This is what I talk about, man. Why do we allow these teams to climb their way back into a game and make it not look so bad? I mean, it's 31-17, so now a 2-score game with 3 minutes to go. We should still have it, but we go 3 and out again, and now Arizona State, again, one drive away from making a 1-score game. You know, I would really like us to not make it so stressful sometimes. I think our team just enjoys putting pressure on everybody, the fans, the coaching staff. I think they just like making us sweat a little bit. 4th and 5 is the situation, trying to end this game for good. Pass is caught, broken tackle, but behind the line, and he's brought down, so we'll hold on to our 14-point lead. Let Caruthers run the football for a first down, and one more will do it. But how about more than just a first down? You could go down, but how about a touchdown for Oscar Ahmed? Could have just kneeled the football down, you know, like the 1-yard line, run the clock out. But, you know, that's more what I want to see here, a 3-score victory. And how about that last play, putting us over 500 yards again? And Keenan Ham, 6 incomplete passes, but 5 touchdown passes to go along with it. As, yeah, this is looking really incredible right now. I mean, this is this better than Brett Scacia's first year with us, like, as a full-time quarterback? But because what I'm seeing from Ham is just crazy. Even Scacia, if there was one thing about him, he wasn't, like, completing, you know, 70% of his passes. He was kind of floating in, like, the mid to low 60s. But Keenan Ham is over 70% on the season. He's not turned the ball over very much recently. You know, he had a couple of picks. You know, he had the 2-pick game against Penn State. He had a pick here and there. But now it's 3 touchdowns, no picks. 4 touchdowns, no picks. Last game, 5 touchdowns, no picks. And how have we kind of lucked into this again, where I swear, with all the times that I play this game and all the quarterbacks that I see, I have somehow found, like, the best 3-star quarterback that I have ever found in Scacia, and it was for this dynasty. And now Keenan Ham, could he be, like, the best 4-star quarterback I've ever found in a dynasty? Because he has everything you want. His ceiling is sky high. He has the development, and he's playing like a unbelievably great quarterback right now for a freshman. I don't know how we have gotten this lucky to get the quarterbacks that we have gotten, to go from Brett Scacia to one down year to now Keenan Ham for 3 years, potentially, maybe 4 if he doesn't get to that high of an overall. But judging by how he's playing and his ceiling and his elite development, I'm not going to be surprised if he's NFL bound by the time he is a true junior. So I'm going to enjoy it while we can, and I think this is going to be where the window has opened up. And with the way he is playing, who's to say this year can't be the year where we go on a little run? Because if he's going to be playing like that, with the defense having some games that they're having, maybe. We do get a right guard, a 4-star right guard, and then we get locked out of a couple of players, and Boise State snags another 4-star. But we are number 8 in the country at 6-1. We're going to be taking on Cal next. They are a pretty good 4-1 team, so can't overlook them. And start the 4th quarter off, we're down 15-10, so a lower scoring game. The offense hasn't been able to do as much, but with Cal in scoring position, 3rd down and 4, they swing it outside, and he's gonna get, no, not quite. I thought he had that, and they do overturn it. Okay, I was about to say, it looked like he definitely had that, but now Cal could go up by 2 scores, and could we be on upset alert to an unranked Cal team? 3rd down and 12, he's going to have it, to 1st and goal at the 5-yard line, as they'll throw, end zone, caught for the touchdown. Cal is up by 2 scores. And we have been put on upset alert. 22-10, 7 minutes to play. 3rd down and 12, it's knocked away. 4th down and 12, we're going for it as Ham throws it deep. It's knocked away again, and Cal takes over in the red zone basically, but they will get sacked. And they have the opportunity to go up by 15. We need to at least hold them to the field goal. We cannot let them go up by 3 scores. 3rd down and 14 after the screen. It looks like Cal's playing for the field goal at the very least, as they will go to the outside. It should have been picked. It's incomplete. field goal try is up, and it's no good. It would have been a 2-score game regardless, but they would have liked to have to force us to go for a 2-point conversion, as that's a strike over the middle to the 37-yard line. 5 minutes to play as we'll throw for the first down. Ahmed gets it, 26-yard line. As he'll throw down the field to an open man, it's intercepted. He needed to put a little bit more loft on it because Oscar Ahmed had a step or two even. You just needed to put a little bit more loft on it. He was open. We will get the sack. Keenan Ring there. 2nd and 15 as it's gonna be a safety. And this game isn't over yet. 3.5 to go, but it's still a 2-score deficit for us. Ahmed gets the first down to the 43-yard line, but we need 2 scores, and we need it fast. What a throw to Conrad Wooten. That's a tight window grab to the 14-yard line. End zone, touchdown, Wooten, and a flag is down. That's going to be roughing the passer, but back from the grave is San Jose State. 22-19 is your score with 2:40 to go. That's a 9-yard gain, as the 2-minute warning will hit with this play, and they'll get stopped in the backfield. 3rd down and 2. 2-minute warning is gonna be with a 3-and-out for San Jose State's defense, and now they have the football back. First down, Wooten to the 47, throwing it deep to an open man, Ahmed, touchdown! And just like that, we got the lead. What a comeback from this team, as they are going to now turn to their defense to try to shut the door on this comeback, as a swing to the outside is going to lose them 3 yards. 3rd down and 5, under a minute to play. That ball is going to be intercepted! Sherry picks it up, and San Jose State, are you kidding me with this? They are coming back to win this game with one more first down. And how about Ahmed, who was the star of the 4th quarter, to do just that? That is incredible. We were down 22-10 with like 4 minutes to go and threw a pick, and it was looking like it was just over for us. And then the defense climbs out, gets a safety. Okay, still down by 2 scores. Then we deliver a touchdown. Then it's like, okay, still like 2.5 minutes to go. Cal's in control. We get the football back. And then we deliver a touchdown. And it's like, okay, even still, Cal's got a minute to go. And then we get a pick. Everything went our way in that late portion of the game. And it was really worrying because I still think we're at a point in which a loss is really scary for us because, one, you need to probably be at least a 10-2 team to make the playoffs, I feel like, this year. And that would be our 2nd loss, which means we couldn't afford any other losses. And also, I am worried over the fact that we did play one less conference game, meaning our conference games count a little bit more. I mean, we get to play 7 conference games. A lot of other teams get to play 8. Our win percentage would go down. Oh, it would hurt a little bit more if we lost the conference game. So we got out of there. We got the win. We've had some scares, but we have come out on top, and we just need to keep on moving forward. Our only loss of the season is to a number 3 Penn State team on the road. By 3 points, I believe it was. So we're doing perfectly fine right now. And Keenan Ham, even though it wasn't like a 70 completion percentage game, still a big day. Had the 2 touchdowns at the end. Did what he had to do. And we keep on moving to try to get ourselves into a conference championship, get ourselves in a position for a first-round bye, and hope we can finally get a playoff win on the board for this series, as we've been really trying to climb into that true contender tier of teams. Now, we advanced the week. We lost out on a lot of players here, wide receivers especially. UCLA and Washington took the other 2 4-star receivers. First college football polls, Penn State's number 2. We are number 4. So our only losses are the number 2 team in the nation, and we are sitting here at number 4, very much looking like we could be going to the playoffs, but we have a tough task ahead of us. How about a 6-1, 19th ranked Arizona team on the road? And right now it's 24-16 to start the 4th quarter. We are down once again, and we need to find a way to come out on top, but we will get a 1-yard gain that will set up a 4th down, punt the football away. Arizona's in good field position, so with 8.5 to go, 3rd down and 7, they will get the first down on the crosser, and he'll have it at the 30-yard line. And this is not looking good right now because they can go up by 2 scores with the field goal here, but they are looking for a lot more than that, all the way down to the 1-yard line with 7 to go. Touchdown Arizona, and that's a 2-touchdown lead, 31-16, and the offense needs to come up big here, and a fumble is not what you need to see. Arizona picks it up, and they have the football back, and could this finally be a loss for us? We narrowly avoided it last week, but this week it's going to take another one of these comebacks to go ahead and do it. 1st and 10 from the 13. Arizona, play action rollout. It's going to go back the other way. Break 1 sack, not 2. We bring them down. But even still, getting a field goal on the board would do a lot for Arizona, as it would get them to 3rd down and 13 from the 16-yard line. They'll throw. End zone intercepted! And it's not done yet. We got the football back and still in a 2-score game. 5 minutes to play. And is this team going to find their way back? As an incomplete pass there will set up 3rd down and 10. Ham will throw. Middle. That's going to be caught for Wooten, but there's a flag down. And this one is coming back. Are you kidding me? A hold will set us to 3rd and 20, and that could be a back-breaking play, but we get the first down again, as Ham will not let us fold quite yet, and that's gonna be Oscar Ahmed, 67 yards. It couldn't be another comeback. 23-31, 1-score game, as the screen will set Arizona up. 3rd down and 4. They get the first down. Clock can keep on moving. Arizona does not want to give us the football back, as they'll throw to the outside, get it for 8, and set up 2nd down and 2, where they'll get the first down on the slant route. They're moving the football well. They're training this clock down, as they will run for 5. 3rd down and 1. 2-minute warning will hit. Sweep it, and the defense swarms. 4th down and 4. They go for it, but they get it. And they went for it, and they just put this one to bed, potentially. Touchdown, as that is a bold call, and it's going to play in their favor, as we will have a 4th down and 2 where Ahmed gets a big gain. I mean, it's going to take a lot. We need an onside kick and a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, as we will have a flag go in our favor. But I got to credit Arizona. I really think that with what we have shown in these late rallies, we get the football back, and we might not be an easy team to stop in that scenario. They didn't want to even give us a chance, and they made sure that that didn't happen, because now we have to go and come out of a 2-score deficit. We get a touchdown there, but the onside kick is going to be ultimately what this comes down to, and it's going to be scooped up by Arizona, and upset has been pulled off. 38-30, San Jose State goes down to a really talented Arizona team. They are number 19 in the country for a reason. It was a rough day for Keenan Ham, and it's still pretty impressive that I can say that this is a rough game for him. He didn't complete a high percentage of his passes, but he still had 3 touchdowns, 0 picks, and 300 total yards. So, I mean, not a bad game, but not his best. Caruthers had 100 yards in the air this time, so not much in the run game, but Oscar Ahmed has been really good the last 2 weeks. Unfortunate, as you know, it was going to be impossible to, come out on top of all these situations, but I would have liked to see us at least get a chance there if we would have stopped them on 4th down. Still, though, playoffs very much in our sights. Conference championships still very much in our sights. I would really think we should not be losing any of our last games if we want that to be the reality of the situation here. We only have a few left, so as long as we take care of business the rest of the way, it might not hurt us that much, but for now, at least, we have moved down to 14 in the nation. Arizona jumps to 13, so pretty big hit. 10 spots. I think that's pretty brutal, but we'll see if we can close strong to close out the season. The final 3 games where we can try to maybe get into the conference championship picture. It's a 24-21 game, a close one against UNLV, who's just 4-4 on the season. So Caruthers will get the handoff here and will get 7 yards after converting a first down previously. 3rd down and 3, going for another first down. He gets to the edge and he makes a miss as he just somehow squeezes his way through for the first down. Huge play there, as the play action Ham throwing. That's caught inside the 5, down to the 3. Keeper for Ham. Touchdown! And the 2-score lead. So 31-21 is your score, where UNLV's got just about 6.5 minutes to make a comeback here. Draw play on 3rd and 10 is not going to get the first. 4th down and 2. They got to go for it. And the run is going to get the first down. So they keep things moving here. 5.5 to play as they will get sacked. And that's going to set them back to 2nd and 19. 5 to go. They get the sack yards back plus more. 3rd down and 7. As they will have a man over his head. He had a shot at that one, but that was the poor throw. 4th down and 7. They're chucking one deep, and it is knocked away. San Jose takes the football back in great field position, throwing to an open man over the middle, as we will have it inside the red zone. 3.5 to go. Caruthers for the first down to the 4-yard line, and with a chance to wrap this one up for good, Conrad Wooten for the screen gets it to the 1-yard line, gets it to a handoff to Caruthers. Touchdown, 38-21. And nice to see us pull away at the end for once, as that ball's knocked away. 4th down and 5. Your last chance if you're a UNLV fan, and it's going to result in a sack. So we're going to start pouring things on potentially as Caruthers leaps over a down defender, and one more touchdown. And that's what we like to see. This is what I wanted to see a little bit. We are finally pulling away in these situations instead of letting teams close the gap. We haven't actually seen that this season, I feel like. We've just kind of had a lead and let teams climb back into it, but I'm happy went the other way this time around, as UNLV is going to get a touchdown with under a minute to play. Not really going to matter all that much, but the 2-point conversion will technically cut it to a 2-score game with under a minute to go. Let's get some onside kick practice. There we go. It's picked up by Wooten, and we will wrap things up. A 21-point fourth quarter pulls us to victory. 45 points on the board, over 400 yards of offense, and a 5 rushing touchdown performance for the team, as Ham throws for 320, 1 touchdown through the air, but on the ground, it was Caruthers getting 4 touchdowns and Ham also getting 1. So a big day on the ground. Caruthers has not really gotten a lot of touchdowns this season, but hey, this game 4, that helps out the season stats a little bit more, and we are down to 2 games left in the season. Hopefully that helps our ranking out a little bit more as we continue on with recruiting, where we're looking pretty nice. A lot of 3 stars we're kind of getting some more info on, and we're at the point in which we're able to just throw a bunch of 25s and 50s on a bunch of players, kind of take any bust off the board at this point, because there's not really a point in dealing with busts, especially 3-star busts. Even 4-star busts, though, I don't really want to deal with all that much. But like I said, able to throw 25 to 50 points on almost everybody, and we got plenty of points. We got plenty of commits on the board already. A couple of 4-stars in our pocket. A couple of other receivers, unfortunately, we've missed out on it. Like, that's the position I was targeting the most, and we didn't get any of the receivers, which is unfortunate. But we do get Durbin at tight end. Donald Durbin at tight end, 4 stars. Nice to have him. We move up to 12. Arizona up to 11. We're 8-2. And we are taking on a 7-2 Washington team. So this is a pretty important last 2 games of the season, not just for the fact that we are trying to keep our playoff hopes alive, as that's an interception by Sherry, but our last 2 games of the season are against 2 of the top teams in the conference record-wise, and if we want to have a chance to go to the conference championship, we need to do that. We need to beat these last 2 teams, because it's looking like Arizona's going to get their nod in the conference championship, especially with the tiebreaker over us, but whoever they face could be the winner of this game, could be the winner of our next game that we'll get into after, as the field goal try to make it a 2-score game is no good. Washington still down by 7, and with the chance to come back and tie this one up. We thought the interception was going to lead to a 2-score lead for us, but fortunately with the missed field goal, it gives Washington a chance with 3 to go to keep on driving down the field. A run's going to get them the 3rd down and 2:40 to play, as they hand it up again. Another first down. They are moving it. They're taking a lot of time, but they're doing it effectively, as the read option is going to get them all the way to the 5-yard line. 2-minute warning has hit as they hand it off. That's going to be blown up in the backfield. We get him to 3rd down and 7. He's going to throw. He's going to go to the end zone. It's going to be broken up. 4th down and goal. Last chance for Washington. He's going to go outside. It's intercepted, and we They take the football. Sherry with it again. He's been a ball hawk this season. As to seal up this game, Ham runs it. He's got it. First down. And even though it wasn't an eventful fourth quarter, it was a meaningful fourth quarter that allowed us to get us one step closer to a playoff appearance and a conference championship appearance. Didn't have to do much, only threw the ball 19 times, a lot of running, but Caruthers would have won a 100-yard game, was enough to get the job done. And this is where it comes down to a very crucial final game of the season, where we are sitting here at 9-2, and the conference is in a spot where I don't know what the conference title picture is going to look like. We could still miss the conference championship despite our one loss in the conference. So here's the situation that we are going into the final week of the season, where Arizona is right now ahead of us for the conference. Obviously, we're both 5-1 in the conference with the tiebreaker. You'll get to see the overall conference standings in a second, but the issue comes with our final opponent of the season, that being UCLA. UCLA not nearly as high ranked as us or Arizona, but they have one big thing over us. They're undefeated in the conference, meaning we need to win, because if we do not, we will be knocked out, meaning it will be a UCLA-Arizona conference championship. If we win, we still don't guarantee ourselves a conference championship appearance. We need an Arizona loss as well. So the fact that we could go and only lose one game in our conference and not make the conference championship is kind of crazy, but that's just kind of how the situation has played out for us this season. I really do think not getting a full 8-game conference schedule did hurt us a little bit, because UCLA is going to play 8 games, whereas we won't, and Arizona will, and UCLA will. So that's kind of just unlucky that we got put in that scenario, but we're going to hope that we can come out on top against UCLA. And if we don't, we're not making the playoffs or getting a conference championship. If we do, we can still make the playoffs without a conference championship appearance, but obviously we're trying to make this conference championship appearance so we can try to get a first round bye. This is an important game. UCLA is coming off a loss out of conference to USC, so a loss, yes, but not a loss that really impacts us all that much. This game is important enough to where we're going to catch the full second half just like we did against Penn State. Again, conference championship is no guarantee here, but a win can very much punch our ticket to the playoffs at the very least. A loss is basically a death sentence for our season. It would mean no conference championship and no playoffs. So we need this one, as the sack's going to get in there, and we are going to set him to 3rd down and 15. We start the second half down 16-14, but we get a stop on defense. We get the football back, and we'll go hand it off. Caruthers gets a block and gets 8 yards. Nice job from the receivers on the edge. Play action as Ham will throw, and he's got a man on the crosser. That's Dakota Stevens, the tight end. And we'll get it to the 45-yard line. And it'll hit a handoff to Caruthers, who's just got a big lane that opens up over the middle there. And a swing pass. It's going to be Cyril Bland. And Bland's going to get 10. 2nd down and short. Caruthers, what a cutback! And Caruthers, he just is so smart with the football in his hands. 3rd down and 5. That ball's going to be caught. I don't know how he hung onto that one, but we'll take it. We're driving the football very well. That ball's going to be a 7-yard grab for Ahmed. And now 2nd down and 3. Outside, open man, touchdown! And what a drive from San Jose State. A nice 4 to 5 minute drive where we get the touchdown. We're up 21-16. UCLA gonna tuck and run on 3rd and 10. They're gonna slide down short of the marker, and we'll get the football back very quickly. Now back on offense, we have Caruthers on the screen, and there goes Caruthers for 14 and a first. 4th quarter is underway, and we are in control of this one. We are the better team in this second half so far, as we are gonna look to try to pad on this lead a little bit more. 3rd down and 6. It's gonna be a throw over the middle, and it just could not be reeled in. Field goal from 55 is gonna be good. That's huge. Makes it an 8-point game. Still a 1 score, but UCLA cannot take the lead on this drive. They can only tie it at best. 3rd down and 7. But we're going to look to get off the field altogether, and we do. 7 minutes to play, and we get it in great field position. Caruthers on the edge. That's a 1st down carry. And he'll have it to the 39-yard line. And even though his yards per carry aren't always spectacular, you can see how clutch he is in certain situations. He knows when to convert, when to cut, when to move. He always gets the job done. He's over 100 yards on the day. And now 3rd down and 3. Ham with the short pass is not going to get the 1st down. 4th down and 3. Field goal try. A big kick here is good. 2-score lead, as it's been complete domination from San Jose State in a must-win game. 3rd down and 2, as UCLA needing to put points on the board, and they're gonna get sacked. This team is playing a picture-perfect second half. They're throwing the football deep on 4th and 11. Desperation, it's gone! And UCLA took a 1 play to maybe steal some momentum back and give themselves a try at this one, and that ball's gonna be caught inside the 5, down to the 4. Can they get the touchdown first? Goal to go, as they'll go to the end zone. Touchdown, UCLA. 2-point conversion is no good. Blown up in the backfield, but now with a 5-point lead, it's our turn with the football back in this run game to put it away, and a fumble. Are you kidding me? UCLA scoops up the fumble, and they get the football back. That ball immediately almost got caught for a touchdown, but now UCLA can win this game. Traw's going to get them 3. It's 3rd down and 7. 2-minute warning as hit. They'll go over the middle. That ball's going to be caught but short. 4th down and 4. Potentially your game here. It's intercepted off the tip. And UCLA had a chance, but they will give it right back and now just hand it to Caruthers. He's got the 1st down. 1 more will do it. Back to Caruthers, and he's got it, and we avoid the scare, and we survive this game and could be very well punching our ticket to a playoff appearance. But the ultimate question now beyond that is, will we be headed to a conference championship? Will we be able to come out of here and see an Arizona loss? Or will we have to sit at home with 1 conference loss and still not make the championship? Thought we played a great second half, other than that 1 fumble that almost wrecked our entire season. But I thought we did really good controlling the ball, and Caruthers, when we needed it, we leaned on him. He took us to the promised land. Now we go to the end of the year. Regular season's all over. We go and get ourselves a couple of extra prospects, 3-star guys to commit, so we're going to be happy to stack up the defense there a little bit more. But we see that we get a couple more prospects, stalling a little bit, drumming up the anticipation, where we will see a conference championship where we are left out. That is brutal, and literally the only reason is basically because we got to play 1 less conference game. If we would have played 1 more conference game like everybody else did and won it, we would have had a tiebreaker over UCLA because we beat them, and we would have been in the conference championship against Arizona. So we basically just got, I feel like, robbed of a conference championship appearance. Heisman winner, though, goes to Tennessee, and now we just have to hope and see that we can make the playoffs, as we check to see that we still did make the playoffs, despite a very scary situation, because we were kind of on the fringe, didn't make the conference championship, and with conference championship weekend shaking out the way that it did, we managed to get in. Arizona won the conference. We, last year, were the number 10 seed and didn't make it. Curiously enough, we were the number 12 seed this year, and we did make it. So, no conference championship, but playoffs are here, and we are taking on LSU on the road. And because we were the 12th seed, we get the toughest draw of the lot for the non-conference championship teams. LSU on the road is a daunting task, but can we get the job done? 10-2 versus 9-3. I feel like regardless of the result here, we have opened up a window of potential contention with the fact that we have found another great quarterback and we have put together a great foundation for a team. But can we be ahead of schedule? Can we be a year or two early. Can we get on a run here? We start the second half with LSU on a phenomenal drive right now. They're up 17-14, so it's a close one to start the second half. But they are running, and in just 3.5 minutes, they have found themselves at the 1-yard line very quickly as they're going to break out a 1 sack, and he's going to dodge and wave and get it into the end zone. And that was an opportunity to make a game-changing sack, and we just couldn't make the play as now incomplete pass sets up 3rd and 10 as that could be a 3-and-out, but a big conversion. Oscar Ahmed has it. 2nd down and 12, though, as we go to a screen. There goes Caruthers. 1st down. Running through him, man, and there's another big play for Caruthers as he'll go with a play action. Ham gets sacked. Loss of 8. And now a flag is down, and that's not going to help either. False start, so you lose 8 on a sack. How about 5 more beyond that? 2nd and 23 as that ball's going to be caught, though. And there goes Oscar Ahmed. And 2nd and 23. Who cares? 58-yard touchdown. And LSU has got to come back out here and do something to respond. And they do. 70-yard touchdown. And just when you thought we could have some momentum on our side, LSU steals it back. And in an eventful third quarter, it's coming to just 2 minutes left in the third where we're getting sacked again. 3rd down and 24 and playing it safe here as there goes Ham on the edge with a design keeper. He gets 7, but just playing the field position game. Third quarter winding down as LSU up by 10 as it's looking pretty rough right now if we can't get off the field. Third quarter will probably end with this play. 3rd down in inches, and they convert for the 1st down at the 40-yard line. And now 4th quarter underway with a wide open man to the 11-yard line. Defense, you got a big play, and you at least hold them to a field goal as they stop him in the backfield. 3rd and 11, drop into throw. He's going to go to the end zone, and it's caught right at the goal line. They say at the 1, but they still have it. 1st and goal from the 1, tuck and run, touchdown LSU, and it's down by 17. Do we have one more magical run left in us as Ham is going to get the 1st down, but you're down by 17 with 7 minutes to go. You're going to need a lot to go your way. You're probably going to need an onside kick and a stop, and you need to score on every remaining drive as he goes down with another sack. The pressure is just too much. This LSU team is just so talented, and another sack gets in. 3rd down and 22 as he'll throw one up top, and that ball's knocked away. 4th and 22, 5 to go. Your last try potentially. Ball up top again, and that's going to be incomplete. And that's LSU football. If you hold them to a field goal here, it's not 100% over, but with the time that they are running out, it's looking like it very well could be over. Sack gets in there, and we will force the 4th down field goal try, but not after they took a couple of minutes off the clock. It's a 3-score game still, but you need a lot to go your way. Ham is going to tuck and run it. He's got a big run. He'll get close to 20 yards at a 1st down. 2-minute warning will hit pretty soon as they got to pass over the middle. Wooten to midfield as clock is ticking down, and it's just looking like it's not going to go the way of San Jose State today as Ham will throw end zone for the touchdown. So 2-score game now, onside kick. That ball hits off an LSU player, but LSU still scoops it up, and with one more run, it's going to be 4th down. But a field goal to basically put this one to bed is all good. And that's going to be your game. That onside kick had a chance, but San Jose State goes 1 and done in the playoffs, despite 400 yards of offense being put up in a pretty solid game. I mean, for a playoff debut, how about 370 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 picks for Ham? A run game was... I mean, we couldn't run the ball much. Caruthers did average 6 a carry. We just didn't run much because we were losing by a decent amount for a chunk of the game. But for a playoff debut, really good. Still, though, a little frustrating that we were not able to get a playoff win so far in this series. But we take a look at the season statistics. And what a freshman season for Keenan Ham. And this is what gives me hope that I think next year can be the year. How about 3,000, basically we'll round up 3,700 yards and a spectacular amount of games right here. I mean, once he kind of stopped with the interceptions early in the season, I mean, he didn't turn the ball over very much through the air when it came to the second portion of the season. It was very limited turnovers, and on the season, just 6 interceptions overall. Was so good. Caruthers, another 1,000-yard season. I mean, Keenan Ham also. I mean, you can see he added 500 yards on the ground. So many good games. Caruthers, just as good, maybe even a little better than last year. I'd say it kind of balanced itself out because he oddly fumbled 5 times this year, which got to clean that up. But, you know, he had more yards per carry, went from 4.3 to 4.6. So his yards per carry went up. His overall production was pretty similar. His production through the air gave him a couple more catches. So he was just as good. And we'll see if he declares. He's a 90 overall. He might go to the NFL. We'll see. Oscar Ahmed, interesting that he ended up with that total yards. How about 1,100 yards for Oscar Ahmed? Because it's not looking like it was going to get there, especially at the first portion of the season. We looked at the stats halfway through, and he was not even the leading receiver on the team, but he had 2 really massive games that like gave him like 300 yards combined, and you know, he went crazy there. Keenan Ring, how about this? 14.5 sacks, a breakout season for Keenan Ring, who came into his season as a starter with half a sack to his name in his career, but a breakout year for him, and we'll be happy to see what he continues to do. Konatimu as well, a player who really has just been steady, a 4-year starter at defensive tackle, 3 years as like a full-on, you know, full-time player. His freshman year, he was kind of splitting, but this year, big year, 8.5 sacks at the defensive tackle spot, interceptions. Evan Sherry, 6 picks this year. Field goal kicker, I mean, it was a freshman kicker. He missed a couple of kicks, but we'll be okay with that. Offensively, we were really prolific. I mean, how about having, you know, basically what a top 15 passing and rushing offense, top 15 basically in points scored. We were up there also in passing touchdowns with 34. First downs, number 1. We had one of the best offenses in the entire country. When it goes to defense, though, we had our games where we were really good, and I do think yardage isn't really that much to look at in the sense that we had a lot of garbage time yards put up on us. I mean, we were the number 1 rush defense, and I think a part of that is because of the fact that we were up so much on certain teams that a lot of teams just got a bunch of passing yards on us in the fourth quarter. I mean, you can literally look at the Boston College game where we allowed like 150 yards just in the fourth quarter of garbage time yards. So, you know, take the yards, value that at whatever you will. But third down, we went back up from last season. We were up closer to 50%, which is really good. Red zone, we need to do a little bit better there. A lot better. Need to get that ball in the end zone a little bit more. We had a lot of red zone trips, just not a lot of conversions in there. And turnover differential, I mean, we didn't turn the ball over that much through the air, but we didn't force a crazy amount of turnovers either. 17 turnovers forced, 13 giveaways. We got to clean up the fumbles. 6 fumbles lost is kind of the one you got to really figure out. But I think we can really have a lot to look back on this season and say, this might be the season that kind of set us up for us being a contender. Like, I do think that coming out of this season with Keenan Ham, we look at things and say, yeah, we got our quarterback. We've opened up a window, and this is our time to strike. Maybe some of you guys are a little disappointed that at this point in time, we haven't won a playoff game, but that's part of the journey here is, you know, it wasn't never going to be an easy 3-year turnaround. We go throw every 5-star prospect on the board. There's a chance that maybe we never even get a 5-star prospect, and we got to do this, you know, just building from the ground up and maximizing the talent we have, and that's part of this. So, national championship, 56-17 domination. Oklahoma is your national champion. Arizona got out of the first round, not the second, but we move on to the offseason where we get to say goodbye to a couple of players. So, transfer, we will be losing a freshman redshirt blocking tight end. He'll be gone. I've struggled pronouncing this dude's name a lot, so I'm not even going to bother, but he'll be going to the first round of the draft potentially. And I think a big thing here is also Juan Caruthers. He was a 90 overall. I thought maybe he could declare. He did not. He will be coming back for another season. We lose Konatimu, though. We lose Jazario Kalu. We lose our center. We lose our safety. So we do have a first-round pick at guard. Kalu goes in the 6th round. Timu goes in the 7th. I think Konatimu did deserve to get drafted a little bit higher than that, but whatever team got him in the 7th round might have gotten themselves a little bit of a steal here. So We lose a couple of players, but not a lot. I think the last couple of years we've lost roughly like 10 to 15 players every year, but we haven't gotten gutted by any of our recruiting classes graduating so far. So when you look at what's available to us in the transfer portal, a couple of 4-star players are here, a couple of top 50 players are here, so we'll take a look. I'm interested. I did not really feel the need to take a look at like the top guy because I'm not really looking for like a 1-year rental guard. I think our offensive line is pretty well built up. I was looking more so at cornerback because the issues that we have had at cornerback. So I was looking for one of the cornerbacks that we could maybe have for more than 1 year. Again, I wasn't really looking for a 1-year rental. I would like a guy we can have for 2 or 3 years, and all these guys are 2-year players potentially for us. So we're going to see if we can maybe get some help at the cornerback room from the transfer portal and maybe find some guys there, because cornerback has also been a need for this team. I talked a lot about wide receiver being a need for this team, but cornerback is also a pretty big need, especially Jazario Kalu. He graduated, but we do have a couple of guys on the board. We got one cornerback you could see there at 3-star. He committed. The 2 positions that I walked into this season wanting to get better, though, was cornerback and receiver, and I do feel like that did not really go the way that we were hoping. Cornerback still, I guess, has a chance with those 3-star transfer portal players, but wide receiver, it's just kind of looking like we might not have been able to get a future piece this season, but we're hoping the development of the guys that we have here. Maybe Conrad Wooten develops, maybe one of these other players develops, and maybe we still have time for next recruiting class to go and grab somebody because, like I said, Keenan Ham is going to at least be here another 2 years, so we get to take advantage of that, and, maybe in the next 2 years, if we start winning some playoff games, get our prestige even better, we can go in the transfer portal and get even bigger and better players. But I think I've done a good job with recruiting. When it comes to the offseason, there isn't usually like a lot to dive into. When it comes to the offseason, by this point, I have kind of gotten most of the players that I'm going to get, and with the fact that we just don't graduate a crazy amount of players, we only lose, like I said, like 10 to 15. There's not a need to fill out the board with like a full 35, because then you're just kind of stuck cutting 20 players, and then you don't want to go and cut 20 players and be forced to cut somebody you don't want to. So that's why we're always kind of in the range of we graduate 10 to 15 and we only go after about 20 to 25, so that we only have to cut roughly 10 players. And the players that we end up cutting are just useless. I don't mean to say it like in a disrespectful way, but like players that just will never play for us. So we have a good system going on here, but that does make the offseason recruiting not overly notable, since we already have most of the guys that we want. But the first week of recruiting, we kind of just put everything down, do what we want to do, get the recruits visited, get the recruits their 40, 50, 60 points, and then we'll be on to the end of recruiting, where we get to see what the final results are, and the most exciting part of the offseason being the player progression and always seeing what these players turn out to be for the next season, because it's always fun to look ahead. But we go advance the week, we do get 3-star right guard, get a 3-star wide receiver, so we're really targeting some of these 3-star receivers since we missed out on all the 4-star ones. But this week is basically the final week of recruiting for us, because all of our points are basically allocated, and we are only going to need to put players on visits, but that's basically it. I mean, I do like that we make recruiting very stress-free at the end. We'll see how things go forward if more players in the transfer portal start being more interested in us, but I guess just to use whatever points we have left to scout players and see if we have anything we missed out on. But yeah, we're good to go, and we can advance all the way to signing day, where we go week by week, see that we get Robbie Isaac at tight end. That was 1 week. We missed out on the linebacker who was in the transfer portal, 4-star player, so we missed out on him. He goes to Oregon. But we do get the left end from the transfer portal. We do get Cornerbacks, we got both of the transfer portal 3-star cornerbacks, which is nice. We missed out on the guard. And then the final week, we do get another 3-star receiver, another 3-star receiver. Like I said, just trying to stock up on 3-star receivers. And the final results are in. We end up with the 18th class in the nation. We got 26 players. So I said 20 to 25. We got 26. We got 8 4-stars overall. So really nice to see that number continuing to go up little by little as we now get to see also the other fun part of how good these players are. Do we have any star developments, any elite developments? Who did we miss out on? Who are the stars of the future of this team? So we start from the bottom, work our way up, and we see impact development, safety, another impact, normal, impact. So we kind of pointing out stars. There we go. Darren Small, a star wide receiver. That's what we want to see. Rest of the way, impacts, normals, a lot of just fine players, but obviously we know what we're looking for. Any elites, star player there, okay. Tashawn Hatchett, a defensive tackle. We missed out on a star guard, which is unfortunate. Elite right tackle we missed out on. Star wide receiver. I mean, there we go, though. Star for a defensive end. So we missed out on a lot of nice players, but we do have 2 really good defensive linemen, 4-star prospects that are star development, 1 at DN, 1 at D tackle. Plus, we also got a wide receiver that could maybe develop. So we got the player progression now as we see Keenan Ham. He didn't take a crazy step forward. He is an 81 overall, but you can see how good he still can be. I mean, this is just a ridiculous player. And like I said, he's got so much more room to grow. His in-season progression is going to be pretty crazy probably. So I'm not really worried about it. And if he develops a little bit slower, then hey, we might get an extra year out of him because he might not declare. Juan Carruthers sticking around for another season though, and he is definitely on his way to being maybe a 1st-round pick, could be a 2nd-round pick, but he's going to be big for us this final season of his time here. And could he go for 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons? As now the receiving core is where you get a little worried. So we have Amani Devalve being our number 1 as our kind of rotating just number 1 changes every year. And he's again a nice player, but he's basically maxed out and he's just not like a true number 1 guy. And 83 overall, we're not really like thrilled about that. Conrad Wooten, he's all right, but now at tight end, maybe we have something here in Darius Humphrey being a junior maxed out. He's an 84 overall. Will we see maybe him get to be a little bit more prolific for this offense? Also, Donald Durbin being one of our 4-star players. He's an impact development, 6'6" vertical threat who's really athletic. If he can get that route running a little bit higher, he doesn't have a crazy ceiling to him, but he seems like a pretty reliable player and could be a really fun player to have on the field. Offensive line's looking pretty nice. 85 left tackle, 86 at left guard. We do have to replace a star left guard, but the offensive line's a little bit weaker this year, but still Brendan Maffei at 91 overall, and Devon Kennedy at 89, still really good. Joe Harvey still back here at left end. Bayer is going to be at right end, 82 overall. We have a lot of nice depth here. The defensive tackle room is a little thinner than it was before. Keenan Ring, out for his 14-sack season, is back. We are also back with Rico Childers, who's an 88 overall. Dean Anza is jumping up. Cornerback is a rough room right now. This is kind of where I think we're a little bit weaker, but we'll see who kind of emerges. And this guy who I pointed out last year was kind of the one I said maybe would be the best chance we would have. And, well, no surprise, he is the best corner on the team, but not quite, number 1 corner good. But, we have a lot of players. Maybe somebody can break out. Somebody can step up. Maybe we get to also see Mello Ellington. He's a young player who has some slot potential for this team. I mean, there's just a lot of players here, so we have to just figure out what we want to do there. And then finally at the safety spot, we'll have the same safeties basically, with Wooden being in the nickel once again. We also have Suzley at free safety. We did graduate Hurt at strong safety, but Damian Wooden's going to be a player who once again is going to see a lot of playing time in the nickel and seeing himself in a lot of different packages. Elias Chavez is going to get the start at strong safety, but that is the team. And let me know what you thought of this season, what you thought mostly of Keenan Ham, and how you think he'll fare this upcoming season. Do you think this team has what it takes to win a playoff game finally next year? I think that this team is very much in a spot where I I'm expecting us to go to the playoffs, and we just got to get it done this time around. I mean, Keenan Ham, you can give him the grace of being a freshman quarterback, but we have our quarterback now solidified. Caruthers is good. The offensive line is good. The defensive line, front seven as a whole, is pretty good. Secondary needs some help, but I trust them to emerge. Next year's got to be it. So let me know what you thought. Like, comment, and subscribe, as I hoped all of you guys enjoyed. And I will see you guys all in the next one.